Hello there. Oh god, look at the sky on that one. Look at the sky on that one. It is Sydney Geelong here. This is, oddly enough, I think this is the last game of the round, if I'm remembering correctly. Oh god. I think, okay, so here's the whole thing on that. Which is the fixture itself. For some reason with our season, the fixture, at least on this round, and I think it might be that way for a little bit of time, is kind of messed up in terms of the order of the games. So I'm just playing them in the order that the game itself is letting me. So come in here. It is Geelong as player 1. It is Sydney as player 2. This game, God, was only played like a few weeks ago, like really not that long ago. And they had a draw over there when these two teams played, which I was very happy about. Get over here. Get a little kick. Thank you. Get rid of it. So we'll see how this game itself turns out. I did notice, I think this is what happened with the other game. I have to like go and check it again. But you'll see the camera here. I think in the other game, I like forgot to change it or something. So it was like flipped around. That's okay. That's okay. What game was it? I'm trying to remember. I think the game itself, by the time I'm playing this, like right now, the other game is actually already uploaded on YouTube. I know that much. Come get rid of this. Oh no. That's a little kick. And oh, who's got that? That is Stengel. Yay. Oh no, he's missed it. I don't even remember what game it was. I'd have to check. I think it was Bulldogs and Freo. No, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't. I don't think it was too bad, you know. Come get rid of this, please. That is with Mr. Reed into the 50. And might want to mark that next time, Errol. I want to mark it next time. Handball's in here. Oh, goddamn. Okay, who's got it? That is Patrick. That is Mr. Paddy. Yeah, what was I saying? Yes. So that stuff is uploaded. Stream-wise, to the stream, there won't be any like lag problems. There won't be any dropping frames. It's going to be fine. Okay, we got the blitz. Okay, cool.
The Swans have got to be a bit sharper in defense.
Get rid of that, Mr. Jake. Okay, cool. There are like no plans outside of saying that little bit in terms of what to say, but okay. You know what? I feel like that's what I remember hearing. I was listening to. Okay, so Cameron's a left footer. This might not work because of that. Like what I was just saying there. Oh, good. It was a few days ago. I remember listening to this interview of like a dating coach person or whatever, and he was talking about how, I guess even to this day or whatever or something, how the only thing like she'll plan is like the first line, whatever, something like that. And I thought it was like pretty good, just like in general. Of where if there's sort of like just plan out like the very first thing and then work it from there. That is usually actually it wasn't like a conscious thought from that, but yeah, usually there is like if I'm playing a game here, if I can just sort of have like one thing I want to talk about, it's like okay, that works for maybe like the first couple of minutes, and then you just kind of work it from there. Like I feel like that's interesting. I remember actually how years ago I would have been watching dating content videos, and it wasn't even like to do it for the sake of like actually like trying to go out there and get anything. I was just like genuinely interested to hear it, because I think like I get the idea of like when we like are watching that content, like it's like majority of the time it's going to be because it's like, oh my god, let me like try and get a tip from this and stuff. But I actually think, because dating is just like a form of psychology, it's actually interesting the idea of like what if you like just we're watching it for the sake of psychology type thing, right? Get rid of this. It's almost like yes, it's based in romance, but it's almost like charisma stuff, and just learning things based on charisma. Like I remember having gone around on the YouTubes and being really into Charisma on Command. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's Charisma channel, channel of, I don't even know technically what their setup exactly is now, but it was just a couple of guys just having videos on Charisma, and I could always remember, like, it's always still stuck in my head, the ones on Game of Thrones. The Game of Thrones one, or at least the ones very specifically, Tyrion Lannister. It's always so stuck in my head. And I think I've heard some talk about it, about like having that pop culture thing in there helps like bring people in, and it's like I was already like in, like when I was watching them, I was already like looking at it, but even to this day, that's still like the most memorable one I can think of. Get rid of this, please. Gets his kick despite the heat. Keep it going. So Geelong early stages, doing well. See if Sydney can bring it back. Hopefully they can. We're not really looking for a blowout. There has been a struggle again in recent times. It had felt like we had gotten a good rhythm, not having many blowouts, but you know, things have just kind of been going on. I don't know if it's like update thing or whatever. It's been an issue again, but just keep it going, and we'll see how things turn out. You know. Get rid of this one, please. No. Oh no. But I think I remember I was going into that like Charisma stuff and watching it for the sake of. I mean, I stick around. I would stick around, and I haven't seen any of it for actually quite a while. But I would stick around because it was like, oh, this is just naturally interesting. I'm learning. I feel like I'm learning some psychology things. And from that, I would actually end up listening to their podcast, which at the time it was the Charlie and Ben podcast, but now it's just called the Dropping In, because Charlie's the only one doing it now. Can he find a teammate? Henry. But we go over here. We got Mr. Rowan. But yeah, I just remember always kind of enjoying it, you know. There we go. Out here. Yo! Can Sydney learn to mark? Like, it's not that difficult. Has a paddock in front of him. Atkins has that's a dick. Can I get the mark? No. He wants to come get that. Handball's over here. Oh, get rid of it. Come on, come on, come on. That's poor play. As with the Geelongs. Get the kicks over here. He's generally a good kick. Hey, but I can still remember, like, whether it was the Charisma stuff, whether it was, oh my god, I just had this pop in my head. So, it would have been like 6 years ago, I think. I would have had it in my head. I'm like, oh my god, I want to be on Australian Survivor, right? Australian Survivor. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm not gonna be like. I was like, what do I do if like I get on and stuff? You know, I'm not gonna have these like things that are in common with other people. So my idea of like being in common, of like diversifying myself while still being within my own comfort zone. I would just like watch TV shows I watch. Like that was my idea. I found myself watching like Gilmore Girls. I found myself watching like a lot of them. I think were like I think I would have gone around to like Sex and the City, maybe like Breaking Bad or stuff. I would have just like tried moving around very purposefully in terms of that. So it'd be like, oh, I know like little things here and there, you know. I think that's actually part of the reason why I got into documentaries. It's just like because I had like a purpose I was working towards, and things didn't work out. They didn't work out, and like I had it in my head for years, you know, like, this type of thing, or reality shows similar to that, right? I would have that in my head, and I would do things in the name because I had something I actually wanted to go for. that was funny to just think of that, because it's like watching the charisma stuff on YouTube. That would have been an influence. I would have actively looked to go like, hey, let me like learn psychology things like a bit more, right? So I would have seen that. I would have listened to audiobooks, 48 Laws of Power, multiple times, and like other stuff in there. I would influence and influence people, more stuff, you know. And like it was all great. Like I was doing that stuff because it was still within a comfort zone for myself of a natural interest. If Sydney could score, that would be great. But yeah, it's new. Get rid of this. Come get rid of that one now. It's just it's it's interesting to look back on, you know. And interestingly enough, like that's basically the origins for the Lenny Best name, you know. That's where the origins really come from as well. Hopefully Lance can get the goal here. Yes! There you go. Nice to see Sydney were able to get the score in here. Able to get the score. It's like, well, why would that be the name, you know? Why would that be the name? It's like the name Lenny, the reason that all really came about was because when you say it, it forces you at the end of it, and this wasn't a tip I'd learned, this was just something I just thought of myself. It's kind of like, it forces you to smile, right? You know how like the school photos are like, say cheese, like it forces you to smile, and I guess my idea was, if people are having, whether they're saying it out loud or whatever, the wiring in their brain, it's going to go toward the final moment is, and I guess even the beginning, like the whole way of it, it's still it's a positive sounding name, right? Like when you think of people's nicknames, at least in Australia, so much of it ends in that Y, you know? Like names that end in the Y, end in the sound E, I think tend to be viewed as positive sounding names. That my idea was subconsciously it can get people to just naturally like me more, right? It's not even that the name I was given is a bad one, right? It's just that there was a better sounding one that had a psychological way to it. Like that's really the idea of it, right? And I just personally liked it myself. So that's kind of where it came from. I also think it like originally came from The Simpsons, because my first idea was like Lenny Carl Simpson, you know, go full like Simpsons mode. But then I switched that up, and I just thought Best just kind of worked. It kind of came from. I remember having watched. I don't know if you know Mini Minter. He had like FIFA stuff, and one was like George Best, and I guess I just kind of remembered it, so I just kind of took it. So it just became Lenny Best. It's like, oh, Best, and it also like works with you would be the best, right? So it's just kind of where it came from.
There's some holding going on.
Must be holding the ball.
Let's get rid of this.
The Swans forcing them out wide. Guthrie.
A handball over here. Thank you.
The Cats looking
there we go.
Close.
Keep it going. Yeah, it's going to be a mark.
That's good vision. This is a joy to watch.
So Geelong coming in here trying to blow out Sydney right now. Sydney coming into this round were actually top 4, but their percentage was horrible. And with the way things are going, it's going to be even worse. It's going to be even worse for him.
The Cats have come looking for a percentage boost. They are real hungry today.
But yeah, like learning like psychology stuff, learning things on that. It's interesting seeing things in terms of you learn a bit of stuff, and then you like, because when you're learning, you're like going up and up the more you're learning. I wonder how much other people get it, where they kind of feel like they burn out, or they get to a point where they're like, how much do I really want to keep like learning about something? Because it's like you feel like you sort of get it. I feel like there are things I can sort of get to a point where it's like, okay, I get this now, and I can just sort of take it from here on my own, like quite a bit, you know. Like I can find it difficult to want to go and listen to people like learning about something, right? Like in theory, I love it. In theory, I love the idea, but I can have difficulties. And I guess like the main one in that kind of be like political stuff. Like, I know that I would have like looked around for this, but would have had trouble of like finding someone who was just sort of able to speak on a topic like that, and it's like in an educational form, which I guess the only way to do that would be philosophy, maybe, because people would commentate on it, and this makes complete sense because it's more popular. It's going to draw people in. It's more surface level. It's more flashy to sort of talk about things, I guess, politically, and sort of commentate through your own opinions, where you're like, this is what I think, kind of like you're taking a side, and then you just kind of go from there, right? Instead of like an approach that's like, okay, here's the thing, here's a point of view on it, here's another thing, you know, without trying to not directly take a stance, you know, and just sort of lay it out there. But it's interesting how it's like I'm the same in this, where it's like that can be very boring, you know. If there can be more excitement in the this is the thing, yay! Here's the emotion that you're meant to be feeling, yay!
Henry swoops.
And it's drawing in like that emotional attachment to it.
The Swans.
I actually noticed this in news, right? Where I think the idea of news is like, okay, this is the thing that happened, cool. But it's like when you actually watch it at all, and like I never used to watch it at all when I grew up. When I was growing up, I would never watch it. But even then, like if my parents were watching it, I happened to walk in, I would notice little things, and it's the same thing I would notice wherever it's YouTube, right? When I would see Philip DeFranco, and people can be like, oh, Philip, where it's like the news itself isn't actually very objective. Like I know like the idea is that the news is meant to be objective, and I get that like people's ideas, and they look around and say, oh, there's a bias in media. They talk from certain things like yeah, right? But like I'm talking about the very specific thing I'm talking about is that when I would see people with news stuff and they go to talk about a story, they're like, this horrible tragedy, this exciting thing. It's like they're labeling the way that like they want you to feel about something prior to actually saying what the thing is. They've like set you up on how you're meant to feel about it. You know, it's like even though I would never watch the things, I would find myself noticing it.
He's in a better position.
He's not on the board yet. That should change.
And I haven't seen like Philip DeFranco in however long, but I would notice that with him too, right?
And does not let them down.
Took longer than they would have liked, but they're playing some very good football right now.
So it's like I don't really know. Like it's like at the same time I'm like I can look at it and say, oh, it kind of sucks that they're not like actually giving you your own way to be like, oh, what do you think about it? It's like you're not actually giving people. You're not actually caring about what other people think so much when you're like starting off the news segment by labeling how you feel about it, right? And trying to put that in there and just saying that is how it is, rather than being like, that's my opinion. You know what I mean? Get rid of this, please. Go for goals. Thank you. You missed it.
If they can keep running and taking the game on, there's no reason why they can't create lots of opportunities in front of goal.
Back into play.
But like, I highly doubt it's ever going to be like that. Would be something that I'm sure they would have learnt in the marketing of the journalism industry and stuff to say that type of thing, pretty much regardless of what network it is, because it's like that's more emotionally engaging. Right, the idea of news, it's still like an entertainment. It's still a TV show, right? And the idea is like you want people watching your one, regardless. And like just saying, here's the news story: a cat jumped down a tree, it died, and then offering nothing to it. It's like I'm like this as well because it's about efficiency. It's not it's like about efficiency to be like, okay, tell me the news, and then also kind of tell me how I'm meant to feel about it. You know, it's like going to school. Like, tell me what it is, and just kind of like help me get the answers, rather than make me have to work it out myself. Like, no matter who we are, in most of the things that we come up with, we're going to be that dumb person, right? Who's just that lazy thinker in most situations. We're just going to be like, yeah, can you just kind of like give me the answer on that? And like the idea of looking around at something and being like, oh, but I'm the type of person, yep, I'm a critical thinker, because I'm able to take a situation and I'm able to I just critically think about it, bro. It's like, not really, I don't think, actually, not really, actually. In most of the things that you're going to interact with, you're not going to be that way. Like, you're probably a critical thinker about certain things of personal interest to you, like, sure, but like, everyone is, I would imagine. I'm sure there are like people who like barely think of shit, right? But in my mind, everyone's got something that they critically think about. Whether it's something that a lot of other people care about is a different thing altogether. That's a quality hand pass. Oh goddamn! But I do find that like the idea of like calling ourselves critical thinkers, like, oh, it's like saying the thing that I critically think about is just so more important that it makes me a critical thinker. Like, you have to critically think about the things that are important in life. It's like, which is us like deciding that the things that we say are important are just automatically important, rather than saying it's just important to us. You know, like, I don't actually think anything, because I was talking about this in the other AFL game I was playing, where it's like, I don't think anything on itself, everything's just kind of neutral right before assessment, because everything is just whatever it is. Before you analyze, before you have your standard on what you want, it means that everything's just on its face. It isn't important. It isn't like it's just kind of whatever until you set that standard of what's important to you. I guess that's just kind of where I come from, you know, in terms of after years of like listening to people say shit, and then being like, well, these people disagree over here, these people say this thing's important, but like, but then in my mind, I'm like, oh, I realize everyone just sort of has their own like standards, so it means like none of the standards are automatically correct, right? Okay, please go here. Mr. Atkins, like, trying to find like what the commonality is between the people who disagree. You know, just trying to find where's the commonality, what's the constant. There you go. So we're almost at the end of the third quarter here. Get rid of that one. Oh, look, Sydney are going to have to chase, but like they've made progress. They've made some progress. They just got to go in there. Can they get the mark? Oh, over. Kick. Oh. But they got a little something there. Look, Sydney came in. They made some progress.
And this one is threatening to be a blowout. What's happening down there, Gary? The Swans have looked good in patches.
It definitely was threatening to be a blowout. It was looking that way. It still could turn out that way, but Sydney have been able to do a little bit here, bring it back a bit this quarter, I think, with relatively straight kicking. So let's see what we got. Franklin doesn't get rid of it. That would have been good. Would have been really good had he got rid of that.
Hickey showing his skills.
Got rid of that, please. McInerney. Is that good? Cool. He got the goal. Very nice. We're at 22-point margin right now. 22-point margin over here. We got the Geelongs. Get rid of the balls over there. Thank you. Who's coming with it?
Blitzer.
That's blitz.
Takes the responsibility. Just needs to finish.
Immediately comes right back in. Oh, good. Very nice to see.
The Swans will be hearing alarm bells right about now. Mills. That's a bruising tackle. Blakey.
I know. I think it was the last AFL game I was talking about. Oh, I wonder
they can smell victory.
how much of like our history is just kind of bullshit. It's just based on like even just a misinterpretation by someone. Blitz has 4 goals. Holy crap! Oh, not to be there. Jesus Christ! Wasn't ready for him to have 4. About that type of thing, and then you kind of like look around today, and like, sure, can I think of like a clear example? Probably not. But I imagine, regardless of who you are, if you've just like seen news stuff, you'll hear people commenting on like, "Blitz another goal? Holy crap!" You'll see stuff about, "Oh, this is like the fake news stuff, right?" Like, "Oh, this headline is said this way," and it's like misinterpreting on purpose or type of shit, or blatantly false. And then like the damage is done, even if a correction comes in. Like, the correction doesn't always come in, but even if it did, you know, most of the damage is done, because how many people are going to look at the correction, you know? And it's just like, that's in today's standards with the technology we have and our ability to be like, hey, that's kind of not true, right? And it's just like, in the past, it would have just been so much easier to spread false information, I would imagine, right? Like, it's an interesting thing of like, how many where's this thing of like, oh, is the media more corrupted or stuff? Are people more corrupt, or is it just because of the way the internet is that it's more accessible to see? So we just see it more, even though in percentage-wise, it actually might be less, potentially, right? It actually could be less corrupt, but because of how much we're seeing today, we feel like it's more, you know? And that can be the same thing with like other stuff.
And this is in danger of becoming a rout.
Oh, I'm not sure he's got the journey from there.
Well, if it's going to be a rout, it's Mark Blitzov's really, more than anyone else.
The Cats.
Oh, Henry!
For a lead in excess of 40 points.
Sydney were like, they were putting it in, but really Blitz. Blitz come in, destroy them.
The Swans are on the ropes. They need a spark before this one gets away from them.
The Cats having a good patch. It's a hot
Let's come in with Sydney over here. That is Guff. Ooh. Who wants to get that? There you go. That is over this way. Nope. Little kick. Okay, we get the kick down. Kind of want to be able to remember like all the topics that I talk about in something, which probably requires actually, you know, watching my shit.
Going at his second.
Of just like trying to have that as like little tags in the YouTube videos, you know? If that's something that I would like to be able to progress, get it up a bit more. Like, sure. Like, there's a comfortability in not like having lots of people watch. There's a comfortability in that, and I'm just kind of like, and you know, like that can be comfortable at the same time. If I can just sort of set things in a way, like, then it'd be cool, you know? Come over here. Like what I'm doing right now, it's really, like I was talking about it with the NBA game. It's just like I can feel.
They're still hungry, even with the game.
I can feel like what I'm doing here, talking about the stuff while playing the game. It just feels good for me. It feels good for me.
Drop punt, and he has put it
like if, yeah. Another goal for Geelong.
Tony Plugger-Lockett, the way he used his body, then went back and put it straight through.
Yeah, I think things are kind of they're feeling out of reach now for the Sydney. Geelong are just going to keep putting it in. Oh goddamn!
Runs onto it, attracted a crowd. Guthrie,
it's so interesting, you know, coming into this round. We'll see the ladder if this is actually the last game of the round, which I think it is.
The kick is wide and out of bounds on the full.
That's a shank.
Myers, who you got it to? Hey.
Too big, too strong,
Now coming in, you had like Collingwood who were at the bottom, but their percentage was like 99. But then you had Sydney, who was like top 4, and the percentage I think was like it was under 90, and it's gonna get worse. You know, like crazy things, seeing things like that. It's for Sydney. A lot of it is that Melbourne game when they just got absolutely demolished, beyond demolished. A goal.
And he delivers.
Cool.
3 goals straight, and he's certainly making the most of his opportunities.
They've pulled one back, but they need plenty more where that.
They got to keep going. Let's see what they get. Who goes with it? Mr. Rowan. Is it going to mark it? Probably should have. Probably should have just gone for the mark, man, or let it go out. Oh, blitz again. Jesus Christ.
And hang on.
Blitz coming in again for goal number 6. Oh, yikes. Mark Blitzard's goal number 6. What a game for him.
They took the right options of moving that ball forward and were able to take the opportunity when it
so unexpected as well.
Clearly didn't read the script.
The Palms. He's got that over here. And Rowan into the 50. Oh. Isaac's coming to it. Get the handball away. Oh, no. Don't get that one. We're at. Oh, God.
Good use of hands.
Atkins. And the mark. Who has it? That is Sydney ball. I was expecting Geelong to have it. Get rid of it.
The Cats on the ball
Go.
now.
Handball away. Who's coming to get that? Handball's this way. Atkins. Oh. Not to be. So yeah, the result's done at this point. It's just a big blowout. Unfortunate. Hopefully, come the next round, our games they'll be a bit closer. You know, didn't really happen this round. I don't think. You know, hopefully it just hopefully at least when we get to the end of the season, it gets to a way that would be nice to see. Okay, over here.
Runs onto it. Haywood.
Go down there. Oi!
Now he's got 2.
How about that? How about that one?
Crafty forward play there. He reads the ball so well, and he's one of those who can hurt you without.
But thankfully, we are able to get teams over 100 points. That was a. Oh God, I remember that when that was a problem. That was such a big problem. Of just like, how was that happening?
Atkins runs onto it. Guthrie, whatever.
Who's got that? Rowan.
He hasn't got his name on the goal scorers list yet. Here's a good chance.
Let's go, Gary. Oh, he hasn't got one yet. Wow.
Heads towards goal.
Oh. There's 5 minutes to go in the third now.
Might just bring a few doubts into his head.
Little kick.
To bring it in.
Come get rid of that.
Normally delivers.
Handballs.
Works hard to present.
Yes.
That's not ideal.
Who's getting it? Handball away, please.
Under pressure. Useful hand pass.
Go in the 50. See what they can get, man. It was like early on in this quarter, Sydney had it at 22 points. You know, like early on. Another goal, and with that goal, Haywood brings it back to what, 59? Jeez.
Well, I won't say they're on their way back, but this has been much better just lately. He's set upon.
Look, the second quarter Sydney were decent. Start the third Sydney were decent, but nope. Mostly because of Mark Blitzards more than anything. Geelong have just come and pounced now. They got the pouncing. There you go.
Playing for pride now. Haywood. That one was all.
And ball over.
McInerney.
Inside.
Goulden all alone in the center square.
You got the kicks down. Can they get the mark?
Needed to be clean and wasn't.
Handball over. Oh.
Gets back and should repair.
Handball's over. There you go.
He got an offer?
That's a little kick.
Very good
Dangerfield. He goes down.
Going for
into the middle.
Rowan.
Hey. Over here. Who you got? That is Blitzards.
Working hard.
To the 50.
They're running
near, yes. Handballs.
Only knows one way.
Mr. Guthrie. Man on lead. There we go.
Straight in front.
Another goal for Geelong here. He'll get this one. There you go.
Looks good. He's got it.
He's
Okay, cool.
Today, but he made that one count.
The Cats in
Big
this
margin.
challenge
55 point.
Hickey gets his hand to it.
Handball of the way. Oh, God.
With some
Let's got
time, can set
it. That's
them up.
Blitz.
Blitzers. Rowan.
Oh, he can go for it. Oh, he's
It's
missed.
a big kick. Isn't
That's-
big enough.
Hey.
Gets to the drop,
How about that?
and they'll get the goal in the end.
He'll take
Will
something
they?
special, but
We'll see.
maybe it's that kind of day.
He's had the 2 up to this point. Dyson Stengel. Oh,
Here. Bends it around the body. One behind.
I think he was within his rights to have a crack.
So
at it,
Lloyd-
even though he'll be
Lloyd
disappointed
kicks
with
it
the
out.
result.
Lloyd goes towards
Mr. Dangerfield. Handball with Holmes.
What a
Get rid of it.
hand pass. It's a desperate
Dangerfield.
tackle. Dangerfield. What can he do with it?
Oh,
He's missed.
no.
They did
He's
well
missed
to
as
strike
well.
that shot
Under a
but
minute
the
to go
inability
now.
to convert really let them down.
Lloyd, tasked
That
with the
is
kicking.
coming back with the
New
counting.
help
Goddamn.
force.
That's
Blitzer.
blitz.
Cameron
Handball's away.
cops some unwanted
Blitz again.
attention. This is
Let's come in and get it.
Haywood gathers.
There we go.
Lloyd.
Kick it out of here.
Kick goes very wide. Stewart.
Okay.
runs onto it,
We'll get a
misses the
throw in.
target, and it's out of play.
Will we see another score for the quarter? Could be with Geelong. Handball's away. That is a handball. Go again. Little kick to no one. And that'll be the 3rd quarter done. That'll be the 3rd quarter down here. We will be back in a moment to bring it back in the lap. We are back with the last quarter in there. Alright then, we are at a very large margin. Let's see what happens with it. You know what, I will say though for Sydney, the score-wise actually isn't like terrible. Like for them it isn't actually terrible, they're just getting completely done for.
The ump gives him the benefit of the doubt.
There we go. Like they've kicked quite straight, which is pretty good. Oh, Gordon gets it out.
Stevens
Stevens!
towards the goal mouth.
Knock the ball, dude. Knock the ball, man. Who's got it? Oh, that's Blitz. He gets it out. With Geelong again.
He's not one
Sydney.
to take a backward step.
No.
A goal scoring opportunity may have gone begging there.
I know.
Well done.
Mr. Henry.
The Cats
Geelong are off
continue
again.
to do as they will.
Geelong are off
That's
here.
a good option.
Who's it
And
coming
this was
to?
promising.
That is with Blitz.
Got the handball
Oh, he's
away.
missed it.
I think
He's
he
messed
called
it up.
for that.
Oh well.
Hunting
Who's getting it now? Who's getting it over here? You get the handballs. Go! Yes!
Lays it off.
Another one.
Row bottom.
That's
He
not
put
good.
himself in the
The
line of
turning.
fire. Time to measure
Over with
the
Holmes.
Holmes. Kicks
It's interesting.
Outbodies
I was
his opponent and took a
like,
ripper.
I haven't really mentioned it, but I did
There is
see
a
where it's like
lively
Twitter's
watch.
been like
Boom.
rebranded to X,
Just has to hit a
and it's like I feel like the only I don't feel like I've seen anyone who said it's a good idea.
That was almost
No.
handed to him. Lloyd.
And like seeing all the things of like, oh, it makes you think of like porn. It's like what the Twitter thing was like friendly. It like it's a thing. It doesn't even look better. Like the Twitter thing was good, you know. It's just like changing that for the sake of like
They'll sweep this ball forward.
being his, you know. Like is there anyone who's looking at it and being like, oh, that's a good thing?
He should have
Except
the
for, like,
distance,
us?
Not sure he has.
Oh no,
Looking menacingly.
He's rushed behind for his
that's
own.
over there.
Away he
Come
goes.
here, thank you.
Blakey goes towards halfback.
Yes, oh.
Sums up their day.
Handball this way.
Handball.
But I wonder like what
Generally a good
people's
kick.
general social media
Stanley
stuff usually is.
Kicks inside the
Like,
forward 50.
teenage
Lord
years, early
clears the area.
adultness.
Atkins, Guthrie.
Like if there's a social media that's been like my social media Blitz again. It was like Twitter, you know, like Twitter was my thing. If anything, it's not like I would tweet much at all. And even like today, the only times like I tweet pretty much is just like, oh, Dream's on, you know, oh, I'm dreaming,
Desperate to win it back.
dreaming again.
Stanley seizes the moment.
No, get rid of this, please.
Under pressure.
Who has it? Handball, it's out, it's out. That's certainly
Doubled it out. Blitzers.
handballs.
Sweeping handball.
Over to Rowan.
He can
Oh, he's
smell
missed.
the goal from a long way off, but he took us astray.
It's
But,
definitely
yeah.
on his mind now. It can be hard
I
to
do
turn
remember
around in a
times
match,
having
but you
like
have to find a way
little
to
things
clear
here
your
and
mind.
there.
Can he hit a
Have like
target?
in my mind a lot
Use the
of likes, and it was like
Oh,
quite
back in the drive,
addicting.
that's right through
It
the
felt
high
very
defense.
addicting. It was like ooh, you know. I think that was like Big Brother stuff, like Big Brother US stuff.
He shoots it goal.
On the years when I would be very much heavily
Those are the kinds of opportunities you really need to
following
take.
along with that. And
Danger here. Who's front and centre?
sometimes I would come up with like a little idea I thought would be
He's
smart,
on song today, but
Yay.
missed this one.
He's missed it. Oh well.
Got to
Whoops.
get some reward soon.
Wasn't really paying attention.
Lloyd goes towards
Game-wise, like, we're still playing around,
Big
but
fist.
a lot of it's tuned out a
Good
bit.
vision there.
It picks in there.
They're playing with purpose
Okay.
and pause.
Relatively straightforward kick, but that's
Tuned out a little bit over here, you know. We know the result. He's gonna get number 2.
They lost
Well done.
behind the goals. He's got
The defenders are entitled to be annoyed with their mids. They're under all kinds of pressure.
it. The Cats go on their merry way.
I sure would like to see Geelong this week against Freo be able to pull this kind of performance
They're
off.
irrepressible at the moment.
It'd be very appreciated for me.
Who's
coming to that? Dangerfield.
Dangerfield.
And it's
So
no mark.
influential today.
Cameron.
I don't think
Oh, who's
he
getting
needs
it?
to smother it. Rowan. He's
Yeah, we
certainly
can't get
a
rid of
proper
it. That's a
man.
pull up.
The Cats look like
Okay, then.
scoring every time they go forward.
That is true.
Hickey wins it down.
Get rid of that one.
This is great.
And Sydney get it out.
Doesn't
But it's
often
coming
waste
back.
it. Reed
Oh,
managed to get
got
out
it.
despite the tackle.
yes.
Met solidly.
Kick.
Probing
Oh, just by
ball.
himself. Okay, that's good.
Wanting to get on with the job.
And oh,
Should be picked off. Myers.
Myers is all the way down here. Okay then.
Got
Messi.
the kick. Tui. Can
It's
keep
me,
it
not
moving.
Messi.
He might have thought about the corridor.
Handball's over.
Henry.
Mr.
Holmes
Holmes.
takes the
Get your
hand
kicks
pass.
down there.
It's becoming a training
Hey, it
drill.
splits again.
Brazza
Handball back. Where's Henry?
towards the boundary line.
Keep it going.
Their ball movement has been
There you go.
impressive.
Another
Alarm
kick in.
bells are ringing. The Swans
And the mark
have
for
no
Cameron.
answers.
The Cats are keen to make the absolute most of this, and why not?
He has the 2 goals, Mr. Jeremy. Let's see what he gets. Number 3, it's targeted online.
Touching
Yeah.
game.
Oh. I got it. Okay, cool. I was worried. It was really going there.
The
It was
Swans
really
are
going
having
over
a
there.
nightmare. Hickey wins it. Stevens.
Okay,
does the roving.
over here.
He's run into
Where do we gotta
trouble.
go to?
McInerney. Some people can't kick that.
I wonder what like the most
Terrific tackle.
universal
They had
like
error
thing to
there.
learn about.
Parker.
Like what is like the most helpful thing to learn about? You know, that like
He's got it.
is the most consistent with like history, not just like today's stuff.
Goals are coming thick and fast.
But it's like, what's the
It's
biggest
great to
constant
watch.
in life?
Stevens.
And like
He's
I imagine that's
besieged.
just like
Not
human
good
skills,
footy
you know,
there.
learning how to
McInerney.
socialize.
The
At the same
Swans
time, like you
should
see the way that like
score here.
technology and
that's
stuff
all
is,
down.
so it's like
And they're away. Reed runs onto it. Takes the logical option.
like even
Mills.
just on average, not just me alone. Like I'm
Slips over the
further up there, you know. Like I bring that average up definitely,
Positives
but
today. He's the man on the spot.
like
And is
on
marked.
average
This
we
is
all
a goal.
spend
Should be a
less time
goal.
talking to people, right? So like because we're not doing it, that parts of our mind that were like being developed are less developed and even maybe even shrinking, you know,
Still
to fit in other stuff.
Hickey wins it down.
Handball over here, please.
Mills.
Little kicks.
Harassed into an error.
Stevens, up to the square.
First. Kolodjasny read it
Not
like
to
good
be.
defenders do.
Not to be.
Guthrie.
Handball
Slots
over.
of space. Slick hands.
Sydney
Stewart
kicking
can
very
run
straight
and
though
carry.
still.
He doesn't
But like
leave
I'd
anything
imagine it's
close.
still just like
Handballs it to nobody.
having the ability to
Might be
learn
caught
like
out on the turnover.
what other
Goulden
people want, I guess.
Gets his kick despite
Stuff with
the heat.
something
Henry
social,
is a
I would
rocket
imagine.
defense. Moving the footy laterally.
Like it's just the most consistent, right?
A bit of friendly
Go over
fire.
here.
Dangerfield has covered
thank
some
you.
territory today. Throws it on the boot. Parker
Handball
intercepts
back.
on centre wing.
Okay.
Blakey, the Swans having a purple patch.
There you go.
McInerney,
Keep it going. Back here.
good hands.
And then you go with Blakey into
Happy
the
to be
middle.
patient and
Into
wait
the
for
square.
opening.
Comes with
Goulden,
Goulden, he kicks it down.
searching.
Can they get it?
Stewart.
No.
got a fist in. Guthrie.
Handball.
That
That's
could
not a good
prove
handball.
costly. Heaney can get it and go.
Yeah, there you go.
3 in a row coming up.
3 in a row. Wow, okay.
It's a
3 in a row.
And he's taken full
Brings it
advantage.
to 61. Wow. 3 in a row to bring it to
Hickey
61.
smashes it out of there.
Handball away.
It's not
You could have
late
gotten
for
rid
the
of that.
big
Okay, it's
man.
out.
Mills feeling the heat.
Going Hickey.
Parker, he's stopped in his tracks.
Little kick.
McInerney
Who's coming to it? Haywood. Handball back. Ooh.
fighting tooth and
Okay, we
nail
got
not
6
to give
minutes
up a
left
goal.
there.
They're
6
still
minutes left.
kicking in hard, deep into this match.
I heard stuff about like in the US or whatever.
Hickey wins it.
They were doing things like some sort of alien
He's so
congressional
good in
hearing
close.
or whatever.
Did he make that pay for that errant hand pass?
I don't even know if I'm gonna like hear much about it or anything outside of that. I just know, like, I saw a thing of like, oh yeah, we found like non-human life forms or whatever from stuff. Which I remember I saw like little comments like, yeah, that could just be like a cat. Oh, Golden. Goals. Well done. So Sydney in the second quarter and this little patch they've had in this quarter, they've shown at times that they can actually be quite decent and be quite good against Geelong. But for the most part, things just haven't worked for them. That is, oh my God, what a pickup! Oh, that was real good. That was good, man. That was good stuff there.
I'm not sure many teams would have done much better against this.
Clean pickup, Campbell.
Go!
He's wrapped up. Hayward.
Like Sydney have been okay, you know. Like offensively, in a lot of games we've had, this would be a winning score, but this ain't one of those. This just ain't that game for him.
Was afforded latitude. Can they get something?
He's got it. It's out of there. Handballs. It's coming back.
Clever hand pass.
Go.
Greg Williams would have
Ollie Henry. That's online. It's a goal.
There aren't many teams who can go with them when they're playing like this.
3 minutes left now.
The Cats with 2 on the bounce. Parker.
Handballs.
It's almost worth a kick.
And a kick inside.
He's had little impact so far.
That is new handballs. Okay.
No easy exit.
Almost had it there. They almost had something there.
The Cats look well drilled. Rowan.
Keep it going. Oh, back.
Feeds it out.
Okay, that's a turnover. And another turnover.
Stewart mops that one up.
Who's coming to get it here? That is Geelong.
Pleasure to watch.
Over to Rowan. In the 50. Oh, crap. Handballs. Well done. Go again.
Franklin. There goes
That's coming back, yeah.
Duncan showing why
saw that coming.
Such a good defender. Gee, they're playing well.
Keep it going forward. Who you got here? That is new. Oh. Okay, nice tackle. Just over a minute to go now. We'll see if there's another score to come. There could be.
Hickey with the tap.
Handballs away. That's Hickey. Oh, could be Geelong again. New.
He ran into a brick wall.
There will be a score, I think. It's just a point.
The Cats will breathe the
So Sydney's second point of the game.
Goes long from the
Who's coming to get it?
Close. Had it.
Handballs.
Dangerfield gathers in the center
Henry.
square.
Into the 50 it goes. Yes.
Is anyone home? That's an impressive mark.
I think we just go back. Last kick of the game. Isaac Smith. It's online. Targeted well. The number 3.
To put an exclamation mark on a dominant win.
Okay, it won't be a score then. Alright then. They won't get the score. It is Geelong with the victory.
We enjoy bringing this match to you.
Have a look.
Hope you enjoyed it too. We'll catch you again soon.
7 goals for Mark Blitzoffs, man. I saw that one coming. 4 for Cameron as well. Guthrie had 43. Blitz had 39, so he's obviously player of the game. More Geelong players there. Stevens with 36 was most for Sydney. 14 marks for Blitz. A lot of Geelong players at the marks. Guthrie had 10 tackles. So Geelong get the win. Big win here. Blitz had 7. Guthrie had 43. Blitz also had 39 touches. And they defeat Sydney here. 146 to 80. They come away with the 66-point victory.